One stormy night, a weary traveler decided to use Uber to get back home after a long flight. He hailed a ride and soon a car pulled up. The driver's smile was warm and welcoming, and the passenger settled into the back seat, looking forward to a peaceful journey. The driver seemed friendly, striking up a conversation about the weather and the city. As they progressed along the route, the driver received a call on his phone. His cheerful demeanor faded, and he muttered apologies as he answered the call. The GPS suddenly turned off, and the car made a sharp turn in a direction that seemed unfamiliar to the passenger. He glanced at the phone's GPS, only to notice that they were moving further away from his destination. Panic began to gnaw at him. He cleared his throat and asked the driver where they were going. The response was evasive. "Don't worry, I'm taking a shortcut. Trust me," the driver said with an unsettling smile. The passenger's heart raced, his instincts screaming that something was horribly wrong. He asked again to be taken to his destination, but the driver's insistence grew stronger. Desperation seized him, and as the car slowed down at a red light, he seized the opportunity and flung open the door, rolling out onto the pavement. He scrambled to his feet and sprinted away, glancing back only to see the driver speeding away in the opposite direction. The passenger's breath hitched, his mind reeling from the chilling encounter. A college student was attending a late-night study session at her friend's apartment. After hours of preparation, she decided to call an Uber to take her safely back home. A car arrived, and she got in without giving it a second thought. The driver was polite, and the ride began without incident. However, midway through the journey, the driver's demeanor shifted. His responses to her questions became increasingly monosyllabic, and his focus seemed to waver. Anxiety prickled at the back of her mind as she realized they were veering away from her intended route. Her attempts at conversation were met with silence, and her unease grew exponentially. Suddenly, the driver turned into an unfamiliar neighborhood. Her heart raced as her voice trembled, demanding to know where they were going. He didn't respond, his eyes fixed on the road ahead. Panic surged through her veins, and her thoughts raced. She needed to escape this increasingly dangerous situation. She spotted a red light up ahead and knew this was her chance. As the car slowed down, she flung open the door and stumbled out onto the pavement, adrenaline pushing her forward. She watched as the car sped away, her heart pounding and her mind filled with questions that would never be answered. When she reported the incident to Uber, they couldn't find any record of the driver or the trip. It was a typical Friday night when a man decided to use Uber after a few drinks at a local bar. He ordered a ride, and soon a car pulled up. Without a second thought, he hopped in the back seat and settled in, eagerly anticipating a smooth journey home. The driver seemed friendly, engaging in casual conversation as they began the drive. The man relaxed into his seat, only half listening as the driver talked about his day. As the minutes ticked by, the conversation took an odd turn. The driver's questions became more personal, delving into the man's life in a way that made him uncomfortable. Confusion settled over him. Something wasn't right. He finally mustered the courage to ask the driver to confirm his name, and that's when he realized the horrifying truth. The driver had picked up the wrong passenger. Panic surged as he looked around the unfamiliar car, realizing he was in a potentially dangerous situation. The driver's demeanor shifted, becoming more intense. He continued driving, ignoring the man's desperate pleas to be let out. As the car slowed down at an intersection, the man seized the opportunity. He managed to unlock the door and threw himself out of the moving car, rolling onto the pavement. He scrambled to his feet, his heart pounding as he watched the car speed away. As he caught his breath, he realized how narrowly he had escaped a potentially dire fate. He reported the incident to Uber, shaken and shaken, thankful that he had trusted his instincts and taken action to save himself from the clutches of an unknown danger.